Welcome to today's big story. My name is Bright Nana Amfo, and this evening the Supreme Court orders Waterville to pay 40 million euros to the state. It says that it was illegally paid to that company. This is our big story for today. And again, I'll be hosting Mr. Alfred Woyome, the businessman. He has been talking, his spokesperson has told the public that it is indeed not happy about what happened. I'll host him right here in the studio. We'll find out today on our big story. When I come back, I'll tell you exactly what happened at the Supreme Court. Stay right there, I'm coming back. And don't forget, today's big story is sponsored by Blue Rose, Shelter for Life, and Star Life Assurance. Quickly, let me tell you what happened at the Supreme Court. Now, the man went to court and asked the court to nullify certain decisions. What happened? The Supreme Court has ordered Waterville Holdings Limited to return to the state over 40 million euros. It says that it allegedly or illegally arising out of claims it brought against the state in 2009. The court's order followed arguments before it by former AG Mr. Martin Amidu that neither Waterville nor businessman Alfred Woyome, who also obtained similar payments, had a valid contract with the state to warrant the payment. The 9 judges in a unanimous decision ruled that the monies paid Waterville in that case were illegal and must be refunded. Amidu, who described himself as a citizen vigilante, went to court seeking relief for monies paid illegally to both Waterville and Woyome, and he said that is to be declared illegally paid and order for the same to be returned to the state. The judges granted 6 out of the 15 reliefs being sought by the former AG and only stayed a verdict on part of the reliefs concerning Mr. Alfred Woyome because those were the subject of another matter yet to be decided by the court. So the 51 million issue is still with the court and has not been decided on. The judges praised Mr. Martin Amidu for his effort in retrieving money paid illegally to companies by the state. In pursuit of the same matter, Mr. Martin Amidu was sacked by the late President Mills for alleged misconduct. Now perturbed by the dismissal, he went to court and managed to get the Supreme Court to ask Waterville to pay over 40 million euros back to the state. This is our big story this evening. And of course, we'll be telling you more about that particular big story. But for now, of course, Mr. Woyome has been talking to the public. What he's been saying, his spokesperson has been telling us that perhaps they are not happy. We'll hear from him. Stay right there.
The courts and the decisions of the Supreme Court of our land, which concern Alfred Woyome, is as follows. 1. The Supreme Court did not find the claim of Alfred Woyome to premise on any agreement between Waterville and government of Ghana. 2. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous decision, declines any decision on whether Alfred Woyome's claim is based on any contract or whatsoever. Any such decision have been deferred to the High Court for decisions to be made in their ongoing trial, which would be evidence-driven. 3. The decision of Martin Amidu to bring Alfred Woyome to the Supreme Court based on Article 181 of the Constitution and the invocation of the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court was wrongful and therefore didn't succeed. 4. It is also not true that as being purported that Alfred Woyome's lawyers have been referred to the General Legal Counsel for disciplinary action.
And Mr. Alfred Woyome has been speaking to the public. His spokesperson, Reginald Sedogbe, has just joined me. Welcome to today's big story. So, you are not happy. 2 o'clock, the news broke out. The Supreme Court says Water will pay 40 million euros to Ghana. You're not happy?
Good evening. Sorry, our press conference is not because the Supreme Court has made a ruling.
What is it about?
We have a problem, and we stated clearly in our statement about how some media houses started reporting the issue. It's been reported by some media houses, and we mentioned multimedia as an example, where it is said Mr. Alfred Woyome and Waterville are asked to refund monies to the state.
It is Waterville that has been asked to refund 40 million euros. But you said that when the news broke out, you were not happy. Is it because of the reportage or because of how the decision was made?
It's nothing about the court's pronouncement. When even we were at the court, about leaving the court, we saw the joint news reporter in court. And we started receiving calls from outside that this is what they are saying, including even the dress Mr. Woyome is wearing. And we were so surprised. So that is what informed. And we know we're having calls from all over. And it has a lot of implications. So we thought, no, it's proper to... It's nothing about the ruling.
How did you take the ruling?
Well, for Mr. Woyome, the court has deferred the case to the High Court.
Right.
And already we are there. And we've always been saying that Mr. Woyome is out to clear his good name. So, yeah, we are happy that it's the same thing. And you can see from the court's ruling that it's not premised on any of those. Yeah, you can read it. Yeah, that is our position.
Right. Reginald, just hold on. Let me quickly jump onto the phone line. Vitus Azim, the Executive Secretary of the Integrity Initiative, has just joined this discussion. Great to have you, Mr. Vitus Azim. Now, how would you describe this? The war on corruption beginning to receive or yield some results. Is that how you describe it? Hello, Mr. Vitus Azim. Well, I'm trying hard to get in touch with Mr. Vitus Azim, the Executive Secretary of the Integrity Initiative. Let me quickly get back to Mr. Reginald Dogbe, the spokesperson of Mr. Woyome. But in all these, the real issue you said is in court. But this is the first judgment that has been given asking Waterville and the relationship between Mr. Woyome and Waterville. So he must certainly not be that excited about it.
I don't know which angle. He has nothing to say about this because they are two different entities. He has done some jobs for Waterville and other people, and that is their business. That part is finished. It's not a matter before the court.
Right.
So this Waterville has, if Waterville is having a problem, it's Waterville. For Mr. Woyome, his energy and focus will be on the court.
The main case, that's it, the one involving 51 million citizens. Right. Reginald, just hold on a bit. I'm not cutting you again, but Mr. Vitus Azim has just joined me back. Great to have you on today's big story, Mr. Azim. But would you describe this as the fact that the war against corruption is yielding some results?
Well, yes, I believe if there was corruption involved, this is a clear indication of a victory in the fight against corruption. This was an attorney general who felt strongly that the monies were wrongly paid and wanted to pursue it, and unfortunately, the arm of the big guy put him out. But he decided that, well, according to his conscience, and being a patriotic Ghanaian, he was going to pursue this, and he has succeeded. So I think that we should give credit to Madina Mido for this and also see it as a victory. But also for it to encourage other people to pursue such nationalistic ideals.
And let me find out, it took Mr. Madina Mido to get this thing in court. Are you surprised that it has to take a citizen of the state to pursue the case?
I am not surprised because, well, people have their determination. Even though we say corruption is general and widespread in this country, we have Ghanaians that think that corruption is bad and that everything should be done to get it reduced, if not eliminated. And so he's somebody that saw it from that line, and I believe he did his best. He wanted to make his contribution to national development.
You find our body politics kind of weaving into the way we handle corrupt practices. For instance, you find it very difficult to find a member of a party trying to handle issues of corruption involving another member of the same party. You find Martin Amidu, a member of the NDC, a minister, a former minister, going all out against a colleague, perhaps perceived member of his party. That, I think, is commendable.
Yeah, that is commendable. And if we have 10 of such people in each political party, we would have been succeeding in the fight against corruption. They do not only refuse to pursue such things, but they even frustrate others who want to pursue such things against their party members, even at the higher level. And that's unfortunate.
Right. Mr. Vitus Azim, just hold on for me. Don't go away. Mr. Dawuni, lawyer Dawuni, has also joined this discussion. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, let's talk about governance. Where would you place all that is happening? Government of the day, a member of the party going to court, getting a case against perhaps that party in this decision. How would you describe all that in the context of governance?
Well, there are various processes and structures of governance that we have in our system. And what has just happened, if we have to place it in the context of governance, we will simply see that one of the processes and one of the structures has been utilized to ensure a very valuable governance outcome. And what I'm talking about has to do with using the process of litigation in the judiciary to promote the rule of law in a way that will produce physical benefits to the people generally. We are here, for example, talking about a huge amount of money that the Supreme Court has ordered to be refunded to the state. And if you want to ask how this order has come to be made, you simply answer by saying that a person, a citizen for that matter, has utilized the process that allows every citizen who feels that thing is not being done according to the law to go to court, and that is what he has done. So it has both an educational aspect in the sense that it tells all of us that any time that we feel strongly about an issue, we can go to court, and the court will listen to us. So in terms of governance, yes, this is what I have to say.
And let's look at the judicial system. Of course, you find comments about the fact that it is slow and not that very active. Would you say that this case perhaps should erase that perception on the minds of the public?
As for the issue of slowness in litigation, we cannot completely do away with it, notwithstanding the subjective nature of the notion of slowness. Because there's a maxim that justice rushed is justice denied, even though there's a counter one that says that justice delayed is also justice denied. But the wheels of justice, everybody will agree, grind slowly. But so long as there is life, it will definitely come to an end. So we should not necessarily complain too much about the apparent slowness. We should look at the quality of the process. And I think that too is a good thing to look at.
Let me quickly pick your mind on this. Now, the citizen vigilante, Mr. Martin Amidu, went to court, and the perception is that he was dismissed from office as a result of his decision to pursue this case. Do you see political leaders shielding those that they perhaps are within their fold? Is that what you see is creeping into our politics?
I do not think the facts available to us will allow us to say that a particular person was being shielded by the system or by his party against legal action. But I would want to believe that whilst a member of the government, there may have been various viewpoints about the same issue, and he may have taken a certain position which perhaps the majority of his colleagues did not share. And in a democracy, differences of views, differences of opinions on measures to take and those matters would exist. But bottom line is that if you strongly believe in the cause, the society has various avenues open up to whoever wants to pursue the matter to the end. He was dismissed, and the circumstances in which he was dismissed still remain a mystery, even though we have snippets of what might have happened. But he didn't give up. And as I said earlier, what he has done, and particularly what he has achieved, should inspire the rest of us that if one gate is closed, there are several others that are open, and we can always pursue the matters through state. But it also means that civil society, professional groups and individuals, people in academia, must pick up that kind of spirit. Because at the end of the day, it is not a party that we should be looking at, not even a government, but the society at large. Governments come and go, but the society will always remain. If we take that attitude and then pursue it the way that Mr. Amigo has done, I think that Ghana will be the beneficiary.
Right. Thank you so much, Lawyer Dawini, for talking to us there. But Mr. Vitus Azum is still there on the phone. But before I let you go, now, civil society has been fighting hard to get corruption reduced to the barest minimum. Now, of course, they will be smiling with what has happened. But in going forward, how do we intensify the fight against corruption and completely get it out of society? Mr. Azim.
Well, if our leaders are failing us, if there's no commitment on the part of our leaders to curb corruption, then we, the citizens, must rise up and fight it. And when I say rise up, first, we ourselves must desist from it. We must do everything to prevent ourselves from being tempted to be corrupt. But then we must also condemn it publicly and name and shame, be willing to report to the various institutions that have been established to fight against corruption. And if we have, of course, it involves a lot of money. You need the technical know-how to go to court like Mr. Namino has done. So not many people can do that. But then if we come together as various groups, stakeholders, we could do similar things in the future, especially if we report and nothing is being done about it.
You spoke about the fact that going to court demands a lot of money, but do you think that perhaps civil society in its fight to reduce corruption has given that support to the citizenry to be able to go ahead and seek some of these, get some of these things resolved in the courts? Well,
I think we have done some part, but it's not enough. It's not adequate to actually get it to the logical conclusion as this particular case. So we need to do more. We've been creating awareness. We've been holding the workshops, coming out with press releases, and educating the public on these issues. But that is still not enough. We need more. We need to do more.
Thank you so much for speaking to me. Mr. Vitus Azum is with the Integrity Initiative talking to us about what has just happened. The Supreme Court ordering Waterville to pay over 40 million euros to the states. This is today's big story. And don't forget that it's brought to you by Blue Rose, Shelter for Life, and Star Life Assurance. Reginald is still here, and in all this that is going on, let me quickly ask you, what is running through your mind as to what has just happened?
My personal...
Exactly what has happened.
Yeah, we believe in the court system. We think they have given their verdict. We are going to the High Court as directed. Yes, because already we are there. We don't know whatever we'll be doing. That is left for them. We are two different parties in this case. So we are clear in our mind that justice will be delivered. You don't think
that the media is perhaps doing its work in whatever might have happened?
The media, you know, sometimes when you ask my opinion, I get a bit surprised about the media reportage. You know, you go...
That is when it doesn't go in your favor.
Not that, you know. But then imagine a clear example. You write a protest letter to a commission, and it's reported that you are appealing to appear before the commission. And for me, it's a bit misplaced. And today I was really very surprised. Being in court, and all of a sudden you hear figures being mentioned that were not even mentioned. To the extent some people mentioned 40 million pounds. And I ask, were they in the courtroom? You know, so that's why I'm worried. It's not that like we are after the media.
You don't think that now technology has gotten to a point where people could get information to several places, and so the moment the judgment was given, it was out.
It was out, but then basic principle of journalism, good journalism, demands that you cross-check your facts. Somebody might have called you, but then it doesn't mean you should rush to break the news. You should cross-check, and even from the party itself. You know, I don't know as to where the mood in the courtroom, what it tells. Well, I don't know. They are doing their work, and we like the media, but then we asking that maybe they can do it better, so that Ghanaians will know what really is happening.
Right, and finally, before I let you go, now you said that Mr. Woyome is waiting for the bigger case, let me put it that way, the issue of the 51 million cedis in court, and so that from tomorrow he's heading towards the court to also follow that particular case.
Fathers, we are already in court, so it's just going to be a process. If just yesterday, the case has been adjourned to 24th. Yeah, so we're still in court. So there's nothing to worry about. We are very convinced he's clean and it will be proven in court.
Right, just before I let you go, let me quickly get you this, and Ace and Kuma has just sent in this, commenting on the case that happened at the Supreme Court. Now, he says that the NDC's government's dismissal of Martin Namidu was Ghana's gain, and he says when the government thought that it had gotten rid of the irritating pain in its backside by firing Martin Namidu as the Attorney General, it only gave to Ghana a reluctant hero and champion. Now, the statement continues that I do not agree with all of Martin's positions, which is natural, but I must applaud his dog fighting spirit. And in the face of the blatant stealing of this nation's monies by a cabal with obvious official participation and complicity, the shameful and reprehensible cheering and defense of the stealing, and he said notably by persons working in the office of the then president, at least one of whom has now been rewarded with a ministerial appointment. The appalling and inexcusable interim non-investigation by Yoko, and the shocking and scandalous lack of interest in prosecuting the civil recovery and the crime, and recently, and I must commend the current AG for this. Many of us could only speak and write. And he says to date, the government had taken absolutely no step to recover the monies paid to Waterville. But Martin will not take all of that rubbish lying down. He took it a step further and went to court against Waterville, Woyome, and the AG at his own expense. Now, he says that today, I sat in court when the judgment was delivered. I left in awe of the man, and some of his claims were upheld while others were dismissed. Yet, he says the court, without any equivocation or pre-verification, was unanimous and undivided in its high praise and commendation of the citizen vigilante, Mr. Martin Amidu. So a lot of comments will be coming in. The unanimous decision 9-0 by Dr. Dateba, Justice of the Supreme Court, was the decision there. And of course, this is one of the issues that will dominate the headlines in the course of the weekend and next week. And this has been today's big story right here on Joy News. Don't forget that it was sponsored by Blue Rose, Star Life Assurance, and Shelter. And of course, we're back 5:30 Monday to Friday. My name is Bright Nanafu. Thanks so much for joining us. We're back on Monday. Good evening.